In the dimly lit storage facility of Azura's archive, cataloger Lyra Ferengi methodically filed box after box of dusty documents. Her gaze flickered between the stacks as she worked, her mind drifting to the peculiar inconsistencies in the archive's records. It started with a misplaced folder, then a forgotten file on an obscure topic, nothing significant at first, but over time, these minor discrepancies began to accumulate. Her co-worker, Jackson Vex, stood nearby, intently scanning a data sheet for anomalies. Lyra noticed he'd been there since early morning, his brow furrowed in concentration. Their supervisor, the enigmatic Thrain, had assigned them both to review the archive's digitization process after a series of unexplained errors marred their previous batch. As she worked, Lyra became increasingly unsettled by an eerie sense of déjà vu that accompanied her every move. It wasn't just the familiar creaks and groans of the old building or the musty smell of aged paper, something more insidious seemed to seep into her thoughts, making it difficult for her to focus. Jackson's voice interrupted Lyra's reverie. "Lyra, have you noticed anything unusual in your, what's this?" He held up a partially filled data sheet with an error marked through its contents. "No," Lyra replied hesitantly, her eyes narrowing as she scrutinized the page. "This looks like standard procedure, correction, re-entry, repeat." Thrain appeared beside them, his expression unreadable behind a thin mask of calmness. "I've reviewed this batch myself. We must adhere to protocol for accuracy and efficiency." "Jackson, you're correct, these errors need rectification." "Lyra, please continue with the cataloging, we'll reassess our procedures later." As departed, Lyra felt a chill run down her spine. She glanced over at Jackson, but his eyes seemed distant, lost in thought. The hours passed in an oppressive silence broken only by the soft hum of machinery and Lyra's growing unease. With each completed task, she became more convinced that something fundamental was awry within the archive, a thread pulled loose, unraveling their understanding of reality itself. Jackson, too, seemed to sense this undercurrent, his movements becoming increasingly mechanical. At last, the supervisor called for them to halt their work. As Lyra stood up, her gaze drifted toward an unmarked door hidden behind stacks of files, a doorway she had never seen before, yet somehow felt compelled to acknowledge. With Jackson by her side, they exchanged hesitant glances before turning back to face Thrain's enigmatic smile.